That was one hell of a Sunday, of a football Sunday. I'm wearing my set from Young La, from Young LA, but that's neither here nor there. We're talking about some brutal shit that happened yesterday, including Cam Scoutaboo going down with just, I mean, one of the most painful injuries I think I've ever seen. It was different than like that's happened before, like your ankle getting snapped. But just the way it happened, he went up for a pass and he got landed on, and just it was like a hip drop tackle, and it like you saw his ankle like snap, and like it was like it got, what's the word? Like it's like a slingshot. You know how you pull a slingshot back and the fucking rubber band like flaps around when you let it go? That's what it looked like. It was like fucking just, you saw it contort, and just, I don't even know. It was weird. It was a weird looking, just the way it happened. I'm surprised he didn't have any like major other damage. I'm surprised he didn't. From what the reports are saying, like, it was a dislocation. It wasn't a break or something like that. Some people were saying that his bone was sticking out. I don't know the full truth to it, so I'm not going to speculate. But he had surgery. It went well, so that's good. I'm surprised that there was no like ligament damage. If there was, I haven't heard any reports on it. Because, you know, like you think of incidents like Alex Smith, where that whole thing was just insane. Like, I've never seen something like that. We've never seen something like that. So it's good to hear, though, that Scat, he had surgery and it went well. That's really all you could say. Why does it always happen to the players that mean the most to the game? It truly does happen that way, like 90% of the time, and I've had it. I fucking had it. The injuries this year have been, I feel like we always say this, especially me. I feel like I always say this, but dude, it is this year. It's like, I've never seen something like this before. This is insanity, especially with the Niners too. And it's like, I follow them every single day. I'm like a little fucking like autistic child, I guess. I really couldn't think of anything else. But Philly beat the brakes off of them. Hurts threw for 4 TDs. Saquon had a big game. First carry, took it to the hoose. Giants, you know, nothing to be excited about anymore this season. Got a bright future, but, you know, it's a long road to recovery for Cam, for Malik. But if they come back, if they're able to come back by the start of next year, I don't know about Scoutaboo, but Malik should be able to come back by the start of next year. They got something. They could be very special. I've always, listen, you guys know how I feel about the Giants. They have talent on like on each side of the ball, in like every position group. They have a very, very good player or multiple. So they are no cakewalk, just in terms of if you're seeing the Giants fully healthy and they're on their P's and their Q's. They could put up a fight with any team, but they're just never on their P's and their Q's, and they're never healthy. So it's tough being a Giants liker and a giant New York Giants enjoyer. More of a Cam Scoutaboo enjoyer and Malik Neighbors enjoyer. In the midst of the mourning of Nick Mangold, legendary man and beard and player, in the midst of all that tragedy, R.I.P. Nick Mangold, the Jets came back down 14 twice in each half. They were down 14 at halftime. They came, well, I guess technically they came back twice in the second half, down 14. It was 38-24 in the fourth quarter, and that's when Breece Hall absolutely took over. The guy, the threw for a touchdown. He ran for 2. The guy had 133 yards on 18 carries. He had a hell of a game. Cincinnati was starting Drewski and Shane Gillis at seemingly every position on their defense. So that's what it looked like. That's what the Bengals defense looked like. That's what it looks like. That's what it's looked like all year. The run game improved. It finally, over the past 2 games, it's gotten so much better. Pirine and Brown had a big game. Chase Brown went for 73 on 12 and a touchdown. Pirine went for 99 on 9 and a touchdown. Joe Flacco even got his old ass in the fucking end zone. He did a tush push in the end zone. I mean, they were scoring points. They were scoring points. They were up by 14 against a winless team, and they couldn't hang on. That is Bengals football to a T. Honestly, there's just no way. I can't see Joe Burrow wanting to come back to this. I feel like they're gonna be like 5-8, and he's gonna be like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just going to sit this one out for the rest of the year. We'll regroup and come back next year and see what we got. Tough. The Bills definitely learned their mistake of not giving James Cook the ball enough in their 3 losses, and they gave him the ball plenty in this game. He went for 216 yards on 19 carries and 2 TDs. Absolutely balled out. Just completely took the manhood of the Panthers defense all game. Bills put up 40 on them. I mean, they're doing that with Shakir as their number one receiver. And that's not to say Shakir is a bad player, but Buffalo, they just, ever since Diggs left, they've never really had that true wide receiver one. And games like this, it looks like they don't need it, but I always say you think you don't need something until you do. And I'm always an advocate if you're a good team and there is a potential, especially wide receiver. I think having a really, really good receiver on your team, you can never have enough of those. So I think, if you get a chance, if you're Buffalo, you got to take a shot. Now, the Panthers running back situation is interesting. Dave Canales said that he is considering moving Rico to the official RB1 spot. On Sunday, he had 6.8 yards per carry to Chuba's 2.8, but Chuba had 4 more carries. It just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I get that you want to do the committee backfield. You were able to run with them 31 times last week together. It's always good to have somebody like Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle together in your backfield because you can never have enough good running backs. I guess you can never have enough of any good player at a position. Carolina is definitely building something. They're just not quite there yet. I could tell that they have a formula. I mean, Ted McMillan and Xavier Legette, really good receiver duo. I think they're going to get even better next year. Bryce Young is easily playing the best ball of his career. He didn't play last week. I mean, he didn't play Sunday, but he should be back. Houston and San Fran, we had a chance at the end of the game to come back, but just, being down your top 2 receivers for Houston, you're thinking that it's, should be a cakewalk, but it doesn't work like that ever. Teams find a way to work around those things. And like I said, I had a feeling that this was going to be an L for us, and it happened. Stroud looked flawless. There's only so much that you can do if you're a Niners player or a coach. You're talking about guys that don't have a lot of experience, number one, certain guys. You're talking about a whole different, you make an offense around the people that you think are going to be your starters throughout the year. And when that completely changes, this is like a complete 180 in terms of just like the team that Shanahan thought he was going to have out there versus the team that he has now. So it's hard it's not necessarily hard because that's part of your job, but it is a challenge, in and of itself. Just curating your offense in a certain way that fits the players that you have week 1 and then not having them at all by week 8 or even by like week 4, week 5, we were, Pearsall's been out, Purdy's been out, Kittle was out, Jennings was banged up, like Ayuk isn't here. And on defense, we're down our top 4 pass rushers. The other 2 just went down last week and this week. Samo and Bryce Huff went down. D. Winters got hurt. There's only so much you can do. I'm saying this right now. If Shanahan somehow pulls out, talking about Shanahan and Saleh, if the 49ers somehow find a way to make the playoffs and this keeps happening throughout the year, like injuries like this, if this just keeps happening and we somehow find a way to sneak in, we need to give Shanahan and Saleh the biggest contract extension of contract extensions, especially Saleh. Who knows? In 3 weeks, we can get our whole squad on offense back. We can get our pass rushers back, and we could be rolling, and we could be playing some of the best football of the season. Our offense, might be scoring a whole bunch of points. We don't know. It could very well be like that if all the right things happen, if everything falls into place with Ayuk and Pearsall and Purdy. We'll see. It has the potential to be that way for us to get hot at the right time. Now, we have the flu game. Okay, very legendary, but the swollen eye game. Tua Tagovailoa played with one eye. Pretty fucking impressive. And he threw 4 touchdowns, got the job done with his job on the line, quite frankly. Threw for 4 tuds with one eye. Job on the line. Impressive. he might actually be better with one eye. The whole time people were saying, man, maybe you should try throwing with your right arm. You know, the fucking arm that you were probably meant to throw with your whole life until you got forced into changing it. Kirk Cousins honestly looked like he wanted to stay on the bench. He looked like he was playing to get benched again because he enjoys it so much, because he likes just sitting there and just not having to do shit, not having to face the criticism, not having to throw a game-ending interception or throw 6 yards behind the first down marker in the playoffs. I think the Falcons' offense is cooked. It's honestly very disappointing. They should not be this bad. They should be scoring a lot more points, especially against a defense like that. They have no business only scoring the amount of points that they did. It just, I think if you're Atlanta, you need to take a long look at your coaching staff, especially your OC. I think just Zach Robinson, I think he's just way too conservative. He's got no sort of creativity. I mean, you got, even with London out, you still got Mooney, Hodge, Pitts, Bijan. Like, find something to Casey Washington. You just, they're not bad players. You just got to find something that works and stick with it and open up the playbook a little bit. And you saw it. I was saying this last week for the Niners game. You saw them, Atlanta. You saw how conservative they were with passing. They took some shots on the sideline, but every throw was just like behind the line, under 5 yards. Just, there was just no there was no creativity. There was no under center drop back pass. There was no play action, moving the pocket. It's anything, dude, to get someone free for some yards. Like, I just don't see any of that. Here comes Jonathan Taylor. Another 3-touchdown performance and a beatdown of the Titans once again. The Titans are easily the most laughable organization in football, hands down, in all of sports maybe. Just look a little more watchable. It's not even about winning games. It's just looking watchable. You just got to put something other than that, whatever the fuck that was, on tape. Brutal. It's brutal down in Nashville right now. But hey, the Colts and Indiana Jones just continue to roll. They're playing the best football of any team this year. Daniel Jones had 3 touchdown passes. Jonathan Taylor is the OPOY, Offensive Player of the Year. Might be the MVP. He should be getting MVP consideration. He's currently on pace, Jonathan Taylor, to score 29 touchdowns. He's got 14 so far this season. The record for most in a season is 31, held by LT. I honestly think Taylor could break it. I'm not even joking. He's got a chance. He's on pace for 29, not quite there. He could at least tie it. If he's going to break it, he's going to break it by like 1. It would be really cool to see that happen, because all these years with Jonathan Taylor not looking like his prime self, like 2020, 2021 Jonathan Taylor, he had a few years where he was coming back from some injuries. He couldn't stay healthy, and now he's back, and it's great to see. And this is an insane stat. The top 15 players who have accounted for the most points are 14 kickers and Jonathan Taylor. And Taylor is atop the list with 86 points accounted for this year. And the 14 players below him are all kickers, and then Josh Jacobs. Insane. Go look it up yourself. I'm being dead ass. I don't know how often that happens, but it was pretty crazy when I saw it. Like, that's how good that motherfucker's been this year. Insanity. Colts are just for real. There's just no other. It's going to be so fun to watch them in the playoffs, like just the way that they're playing right now. I mean, they're going to go through some adversity at some point in the year, but I think that they're made of the right stuff. They have talent everywhere. They're built the right way. Just D-line, O-line, run game, and then everything is a complement to that. So that's how you want to build. That's how championship teams are built, and they have that. So good for Indy, man. It's been a long time coming. The whole thing with Luck and just having for him to retire and just trying to find your way throughout those years of not having him and the new coaches, it's tough, but they got something. They really got something. Bo Nix and the Broncos are also a very good football team. I love Bo Nix, man. I think him and Peyton mesh perfectly, and he just seems like confident. Like, he just seems like so like cool and just like chill. You know, he knows what he's got to do. He's going to get the job done, and even if he throws a pick or two, it's not going to faze him. He's a great athlete. It just, everything about Bo Nix I love, and I love Denver. I really think that they aren't playing their best, give this team someone like Olave or a Jacoby Myers. I think there's realistically 3 teams in each conference that you can look at them and you're like, this is definitely a team that I can see playing in the Super Bowl. I think if you really, really were realistic about it, Denver is one of those teams. I would say in the AFC, it's Kansas City, Denver, and the Colts. Yeah. I think those are the 3 that I would pick right now. For the NFC, I'd say Philly, Green Bay, and the Rams. Yeah. Cowboys defense could not stop Denver. They allowed 6 yards per carry to everybody that touched the ball that game. Sunday night was a very interesting game. I mean, Pittsburgh, I don't want to say they dominated the first half, but they were up 16-7 at half. I mean, they looked like they were going to go on and win that. The defense looked like it woke up. And then 21 points scored in the fourth quarter by Green Bay like nobody's business. I will say, Green Bay, they looked like the best team in the NFC in that second half. Jordan Love, flawless, 29-37, 360 yards, 3 touchdowns. The run game featured Emmanuel Wilson in this game like it hasn't before. He looked really good. They're one of those teams too, like I said this about Denver. If you get, I know you think you don't need it, if you can get another receiver. I mean, you look at the Niners, I'll use us as an example. In 2019, we didn't have a true number 1. We had Kittle, great player. It's kind of the same situation. They got a great tight end, bunch of receivers that they want to distribute the ball to, but they don't have that true number 1. We traded for Emmanuel Sanders when we were 5-0, I think, and he immediately made an impact. You get a Jacoby Myers, Chris Olave, Waddle to pair with Christian Watson, Matthew Golden, Jaden Reed when he comes back, Romeo Doubs, Tucker Kraft. You are unstoppable because you have a true number 1 that you have to account for, that teams are going to draw extra attention to if you really, really want to make a push. If you really want, you got to be all in. You know, you can't play it conservative in situations like this. When things are working for you, you're staying healthy, you're winning, make a splash move. It can't help. It can't harm you. It could only help you, or it just makes it's the same. Like you stay the same or you get better. I don't think you get worse. So Green Bay, impressive. They have Super Bowl potential. They gotta keep it rolling because they got a chance, to be the number 1 seed. And I know LaFleur, just those 2 years when he had Rodgers as MVP, he wishes he could have those games back, man. I know he does. He was close. But Baba Booey, Gabagool, Tony Soprano, I'm from New Jersey. Paulie D, the Jersey Shore, Taylor Ham, Egg and Cheese. We can't pump our own gas. I'm from New Jersey. Your sister's ass, your mother's ass. Thanks for watching. Go follow the Deep Ball on Instagram. Best football content in the world. 200K is on the horizon. Thank you guys so much for always supporting me. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.